Hey, this is Karen Reese, otherwise known as the Obsessive Wolf Gamer, O.C.G, and hopefully I'm live with Soul River Remastered.
I don't deserve a boyfriend.
Interesting. Hey, hey, hey! Okay, so I wanted to introduce you to one of my favorite games of all time ever. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. This game is not only one of my favorite games of all time ever, but this game helped shape me as a person and what I like in games. And I fucking adore this game. And I think you'll like it as well. Ah, shit, hold on 1 second.
I know you, Raziel.
1 second. Okay, so I'm sure. There we go.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow. Until I had the honor of surpassing my lord.
This game has one of the best fucking openings to any game ever. You're about to say.
For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead.
Cast him in.
Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
I know you, Razier. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Razier. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Cain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Cain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my soul reaver. My angel of death.
God. That voice acting is the shit. Okay, so originally, I want you to understand something, okay? This game came out in 1999, okay? This was a fucking PS1 game. Came out in 1999. That storytelling, that voice acting in 1999 was fucking insane. Okay, because it could still go toe-to-toe with any modern game. Okay? And this is the original game. And then last year, at the end of last year, December, after so many years of people forgetting about this game, they finally brought it to modern consoles with updated graphics. Yeah, well, this is the new graphics. This is the original game's graphics, but I'm talking about the storytelling, the voice work. Was all unchanged. Say hi, Echo. And see, you can see the graphics. You can see the old and the new. My point that I was making is the storytelling. Like, you can obviously see the original graphics have changed. And graphics have gotten better. Okay, but the storytelling, they have not changed the storytelling one bit. And it is still fucking sublime.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
I'm saying, you know how many fucking PS1 games, Hannah, had shitty voice acting? Like, it was common for games to have shit voice acting in the 90s. That was like the first time we had voice acting in games. And you got stuff like, I want you to understand, 3 years prior to this game coming out, this was 1999, okay, was Resident Evil You, the master of unlocking. Oh, a Jill sandwich. Don't open that door. You understand? And most of the time, that's how bad voice acting was on PS1. Which, in all fairness, like I said, it was the first time voice acting was in a game's widespread. But I'm saying, okay, so imagine playing this game and hearing that fucking voice work in 1999. It would have been like, oh shit, this game fucking raised the bar in storytelling in games, and is widely credited with being one of the games to push gaming in general towards more adult games and better writing.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced
By
by
a
a deeper
deeper
need.
need.
You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
And that guy who's talking, he's called the Elder God. He's Tony J, and he has one of the greatest fucking voices in all of history. His voice is like fucking silk
Your wings, though
and
ruined,
steel.
are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Like, this is essentially the fucking tutorial. Okay? They could just be like, oh, hey, hit X to jump.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Slua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
Where you going, bitch?
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
Yeah, you go between the land of the living and the land of the dead, and you have to switch between them to solve puzzles. The material realm and the spectral realm.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve. You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world.
Yeah, kinda. But like the entire game and not just the first act.
Heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood.
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
Yeah, kinda.
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
Effortlessly. God, I fucking love his voice so much. He sadly died a while back. He was real old though, he's like 80. I think it was like in 2011, 2012. It was a long time ago. He had a long history of working in games and movies and theaters. He's in a lot of cartoons as well. Oh, for sure.
The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
Okay, Han. Yeah. Just like you, they're getting penetrated. Giggity! Well, I'm gonna. I want you to understand something, Hannah. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, but I'm coming. I'm coming for that booty.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endless swirling vortex of the abyss, my tomb, and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, hon. The vast majority of people who watch streams don't interact, either because they're busy, or they're shy, or they just don't want to, or whatever. So, that's just the name of the game. If somebody wants to interact with me, cool. I'm happy to have them. But, you know, you can't make them, and you can't pressure them, so... And goddamn, do I love the fucking music in this game! Just wait. This is the theme. This is called Raziel's theme. Wait till it kicks up. Which of you motherfuckers wants to tussle? Oh!
World like excrement from boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
And wait, you haven't heard anything yet. Like the song hasn't kicked all the way up yet. And like the soundtrack to this is really unique. And The guy who did this music went on to become a famous musician in his own right. He formed the band Cell Dweller. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're pretty big in the techno and electric music scene. No, he wasn't. At the time, he was just getting his start in the music world. And the producers of this game heard his soundtrack. They were looking for a dark, gothic soundtrack that sounded like nothing else. They needed the music to have an original vibe. And when they heard his track, they said, "This is it. This is the guy." He's also a really good vocalist. He doesn't sing on this soundtrack because it wouldn't fit. But in Cell Dweller he sings and he's a great vocalist. And this game, in 1999, when this game came out, this was fucking revolutionary. I mean, just the ambient fucking soundtrack.
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
Like, the atmosphere in this game is so fucking thick that you could cut it with a knife. I can't even do it justice, like, but you see what I mean, like, the atmosphere in this game is fucking perfect.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had I...
Sorry, 1 second, I'm a bit phlegmy, I'm gonna cough. I just didn't want you to get it warmed.
A dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother. Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
Aw, come on, dog. And this game was so fucking revolutionary for the time. Like, you get the writing and the voice acting, okay? The writing for this game was on another fucking level for 1999. I mean, the writing is still amazing by today's standards. So when you compare this to other games on PS1, other platformers, there's nothing like this. Voice acting, like we just discussed, was normally shit, and they hired trained actors and theater musicians with a great script. You know, the dialogue was fucking movie quality. But even more than that, this game did a lot of things that are still being used in games today. This game was one of the very first games ever to have a dynamic soundtrack. So when you get into a fight, you'll hear the soundtrack pick up when you're just walking around and see it. Games nowadays, that's commonplace. But for a game to have a soundtrack that dynamically changed as you're playing, this was like the first game to do that. This game does not load after you start it up, okay? You can go from one end of the game to the other. This game was the first game to create the technology where the game loads the world in as you play, so that there's no loading screens. And that technology basically forms the basis to every modern game to this day. When you play an open world game and you can go from one end of the map to the other without getting a shit ton of load screens, that's because it's loading as you play. And that technology started here. And PS1 was the first console to use discs. And while discs had a lot of benefits, the downside was load times. We went from cartridges that were virtually instant to having a lot of load times, and this was one of the first games to try and mitigate that. And like every single modern game uses a version of the technology that was introduced into this game. PS4, Xbox One, Switch. Yeah, this is on all platforms. It's Soul Reaver 1 and 2. You're seeing me play Soul Reaver 1, but the second game it's a dual pack. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. It's on all platforms, it's on Switch, and it's $30. It's only available digitally, though, because this remaster was done by a tiny team. They're working on making a physical run of the game. It's just not out yet because, 20 people worked on this game. The remaster, this was done a labor of love, because this game series, is beloved, but it's not widely known, if that makes sense. Like, the people who love this game fucking love this game, but it's not super well known. So this remaster didn't have a huge budget, so they're working on getting a physical copy of the game later. But if you wanted to get it digitally, it's $30 brand new for 2 games. Alright, hon, I love you, I'll talk to you later. Yeah. But even the people who don't know of it have seen its effect on gaming. Like I said, every modern game uses stuff based on the technology they made here.
Micaiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion.
This game helped to move gaming forward to more adult games.
His soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay. Alright, I'm going to end this part here. I just want to introduce her to that game, and I'll be back on with thank you so much for watching. And